In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Very good. Very good. I heard 2 waves of amens, but it's good. Who can tell me what we celebrate today? I see a hand. Can I hear an answer? What? God, of course. We always celebrate God every day of the week. I'll give you a hint. Here's his picture. Who are we celebrating today? St. Nicholas, that was last week. Good guess. We always celebrate Jesus, but we're celebrating a specific saint today. You can tell him because he's the only saint who wears a basket on his head. It looks like a basket, other than a stocking cap. Maybe he lived in Rochester. I'm kidding. Kala. This is Saint Spiridon. Okay? Do any of you have the name Spiro? Can I see hands? Your dad. Any others of you? Is your dad named Spiro? Kala. Very good. So remember to tell your father Chronia Pola. And if you have a papu or a tio or an uncle or a grandfather who is named Spiridon, please wish him happy name day. Now, Saint Spiridon, he lived in the 4th century. He lived at the same time as Saint Nicholas, which is why they're celebrated so close together. And he is remembered because he was a miracle worker. And his miracles were of 2 kinds. Of course, he worked miracles for the healing of the sick and the care of the people, but he also worked miracles for the preservation and teaching of the faith. At that time, hello, hi. At that time, everybody was asking a question that you've probably asked yourselves. What does it mean when the Christians say that they believe in the Trinity, in 3 persons in 1 essence? When we say that God is the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, we're talking about 3. But we say that God is 1. How does that work? And Saint Spiridon was in an argument with a philosopher. And the philosopher said, it's impossible. You can't have 3 things in 1. And Saint Spiridon held up a brick. Now, what do you need to make a brick? Clay. And what's clay? It's dust and water. But you can't just take clay and make it into a brick. You need something else. What do you have to do to make a brick? You heat it. You need fire. So Saint Spiridon held up the brick and said, there are 3 things in this, and it's 1 thing. And the philosopher said, oh. And he felt a little bit silly. And the story says that God honored Saint Spiridon for his faith, and as the philosopher walked away ashamed, the brick in his hand crumbled to dust, and up shot a flame of fire, and the water trickled down below, to show that God blessed his teaching and that God affirmed the truth of what he had said. Did you ever hear that story before? Anybody? Well, now you heard it. And you can try to tell it again. See if you can tell your parents, and then they can tell you if you got it right. Okay? The thing about Saint Spiridon was he wasn't a highly educated man. He did not have a PhD. He was a simple man of faith. But he knew who God was, and God blessed him for his faith. May we all be blessed in the same way, to move ahead and to trust God and to know who he is with the same clarity as Saint Spiridon. I would like you all to look at your bulletins, because we have the icon. Learn to recognize him. Most churches you will see have an icon of Saint Spiridon. He is very much beloved of the church. All right? We have 2 weeks till Christmas. So, I hope all of you have been doing all that you can to show your love for your parents in the course of these last several weeks, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas. So, please stand up and we will receive communion.